Yeah, so I remember playing the Tron stand-up arcade game in the 80s when it came out. It was the most amazing arcade game because you had these different, it had the spinner knob and like the yoke control, right? But anyway, and the tanks were scary. The tanks were absolutely scary on that game. Anyway, so I've been a Tron fan for a long time, and I was on eBay the other day and I found this film. It's like 26 inches by 8 inches, and it's basically a rolled up film of the arcade marquee for the arcade machine. I don't have room for an arcade machine, but I actually bought some. I went out and did my own DIY light box for it, and so I built. I took some like poster frame. I bought a poster frame. I just went to Walmart and bought a bunch of cheap stuff. So I got a poster frame with that plexiglass on the front of it. And so I cut that to make a front and back to hold the film up. Yeah. And then I bought one of those black like the project display boards that's like this like 1/4-inch black foam for like a science fair project or something, this display board. So it already had a 24-inch fold on the sides, and so I just went and scored that. And I just did all the measurements right to score and make out how this box is going to kind of fold together and cut things out. And then I laid in behind that a really cheap 6-foot LED light strip. And so I've got a little remote that'll change the colors of the light strip on the inside and all that. Yeah. And so yeah, it's USB powered light strips. I just plug it in. It goes up over the top to the plug-in there on top of the shelf. And cool. So it took me a little bit of fidgeting with the colors to see what would show up best on video without being just blown out. But anyway, yeah,
it looks great.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, and it's a good talking piece for like when you're talking to customers or whatever, because I'm sure you get people that like, oh yeah, I remember that game or that movie or whatever. Cool. I mean, the next step is to get a Raspberry Pi and to actually have the game, right?
Oh, they actually there's a company called One Up Arcade, I think, that makes an aftermarket Tron stand-up arcade machine.
Wow. Paulino was going to buy that.
Oh yeah,
in his basement.
Yeah, there's a collection. If you can find there's some original cabinets still around, and then there's a lot of people that make the aftermarket parts for them. But this One Up Arcade, they've made a number of re-released arcade cabinets with the full thing with modern tech inside. And so you can find those as well for about $700. I think just a couple months ago they released that one.
There is
I'm looking at it right now.
Google for a Ryzen gaming computer in there, and you can just vent it out the top. It's gonna get warm, but it'll run.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So that's my latest, and I've kind of been back and forth. Is it over the top? Does it detract or distract? But I hope it wins nerds points and respect with the audience, basically. So
it definitely draws the eye. I think once you see it, it's not like distracting.
Yeah. So I threw that back there a couple weeks ago.
Cool.